2025 was the wildest year in ABDL history. But that's just the beginning. In this video, I'd like to look back with you on the most important diapers, parties, and other events that shaped 2025. And take a first look ahead to 2026. Because a lot is going to change then. Let's start with the review. Two developments in particular stood out here. The market for diapers and other ABDL products, such as clothing, has grown. This can be seen in various factors. One of them is the search volume in Google, which has a virtual monopoly among search engines. At times in 2025, there were more searches for ABDL than in the previous 5 years combined. A comparison with all historical data provided by Google up to 2004 shows how long-term this development is. Since 2007, there have been regular searches for ABDL in Germany, with the frequency increasing continuously. In the real world, too, things are looking up. Several diapers either appeared in 2025 or in the previous year but were imported from China this year, so that we can buy them in Germany at reasonable prices. This may take some time. In some cases, they arrived many months after their release. I can understand that some of you find this annoying, but try to be more relaxed about it. Because the practical tests are more complex. Several are now underway and there are still a few diapers in the queue. One of the highlights of the 2025 diaper year so far is the Barnyard. It is a fairly thick diaper with high absorbency that is relatively inexpensive despite its Velcro fastening. Unfortunately, it is almost impossible to buy anymore. With Tykables camis, on the other hand, availability is not a problem. They are a little more expensive, but reasonable for the performance they offer. The pink camouflage colors are high contrast and eye-catching. A refreshing alternative for those who don't like childish designs or are looking for something different. It's more difficult to see how full the diaper is, which can be an advantage or a disadvantage, depending on your point of view. I also liked the Daydreamer, if it weren't for the strong perfume smell that even rubs off on your hands. Unfortunately, this makes it unsuitable for everyday use for me. I don't like the floral scent, and it's too intense. This disadvantage does not apply to the Little Melody from LNGU. It is thick, bright, printed with bold motifs, and very durable. This puts it at the top of my personal list. Just like Tykables Camelot V2, which, unlike LNGU, has a more subtle design. Instead of being completely printed, it is printed on the adhesive surface at the front, with the rest remaining white. This is reminiscent of the original retro Pampers, which were significantly larger and also made of foil. While this video is being made, I am wearing a Camelot V2, which is already quite wet. It has served me well for many hours. Of course, there were other diapers that didn't make it into these highlights. You are welcome to watch the practical tests on my channel. The market is growing because ABDL is becoming more widespread. Something else grew even more rapidly in 2025, ABDL parties. This is not just due to my distorted perception. 2025 was also the first year in which we, were present at almost all the big parties. There are not videos of all of them, some are still to come. This year, the range on offer has exploded. The most striking example is setbacks. In 2022, they started in Munich with 2 dates in the same club, one at the beginning and one at the end of the year. It was the first alternative to Wildest in Berlin. That's where the very first public ABDL party in Germany ever took place in 2012, until setbacks joined them in the South 10 years later. Using a kind of franchise system, setbacks opened a total of 2 new locations in 2025, Essen and Hamburg. Essen hosted 2 parties, Hamburg 1. This increased the number of setbacks parties per year from 2 to 5. Neither location is a one-off, but will continue in 2026. And that's not all. The Diaper Dungeon in Mannheim, which opened in 2024, also celebrated twice in 2025. We at Diaper TV were given exclusive access to film the premises, and you can look forward to seeing the video in January 2026. The dates for next year have already been set. The party will take place on March 14th and November 28th. 5 setbacks parties plus 2 diaper dungeons makes 7 diaper parties. With Wildest in February and June, that makes 9. A relatively new event is the ABDL weekend in Erfurt. It took place for the second time at the end of November 2025, and the name is taken seriously there. For the first time, a welcome party will be held on Friday night, followed by the main event on Saturday night. In total, there were 10 large ABDL parties throughout the year. It's breathtaking how much our niche has exploded in just a few months. And this at a time when minorities are coming under increasing pressure in various ways. Nevertheless, organizers are taking the plunge and investing in the scene. That deserves recognition. Unfortunately, alongside these positive developments, there were also negative ones. On September 14, 2025, ADISC closed. It was one of the largest international and independent forums for the ABDL scene. Instead of being optimized for profit, it was run by diaper wearers for diaper wearers. I contacted the owner several times to take it over. Unfortunately, he wanted to leave the scene. His asking price was at least $20,000 for the entire platform. That is completely unrealistic. That's the equivalent of about 17,000 euros for a platform that requires a lot of volunteer work on an ongoing basis. No one could or wanted to pay that, so ADISC closed. Over a decade of ABDL history with a lot of valuable content is now lost forever, a major setback for the scene. We need more of these free and independent platforms. Surveillance capitalism has once again demonstrated this to us with its show of force. This time, the situation on Instagram is escalating worse than ever before. Content is being removed en masse and accounts are being blocked or deleted. Some have even been destroyed multiple times by an AI that is clearly running amok. Not only is the number of arbitrarily deleted accounts greater, but Instagram has also completely destroyed my reach. Until now, my posts mostly reached new people who weren't already following me. 80 to 90% is normal. That's exactly what made the platform lucrative. We reached new people and were able to educate them about ABDL. But around October 21, 2025, Instagram must have destroyed this with unprecedented measures. Since that date, my reach has plummeted dramatically. This applies to many posts that had previously been performing very well for a long time. Everywhere, there is a clear dip, which only affects posts seen by people who don't follow me. Among the people who follow me, they continue to work. However, this is the beginning of the end. My existing followers are constantly being deleted, while I am gaining virtually no new ones due to the artificially limited reach. My account is therefore shrinking by up to 20 people per day. Here you can see the damage particularly clearly. In November, I reached around 10,500 accounts with over 446,000 views. Just under a month later, only 2,000 accounts, a drop of 80%. This is a massive setback for the ABDL scene in Germany. YouTube is still far less unscrupulous than Instagram. Nevertheless, we have also been having problems there for some time with arbitrarily imposed age restrictions, even though the videos do not contain any content that is dangerous for young people. This does not only affect those under 18. Videos with age restrictions are virtually dead on the platform because they are hidden in the suggestions, for example. This means that they no longer have any reach either. All of this costs us reach, which has become the most important currency. The less reach we have, the less and slower we can inform people, deter them from harmful behavior, and so on. Despite these major setbacks, I want to start 2026 with a largely positive outlook. I have some big changes planned that will allow me to invest more time in diaper TV. In addition, there have been plans for some time to become more independent from unscrupulous tech companies. All of this depends on your support. Among other things, I have found a solution to a frequently voiced criticism of the videos. The diaper tests will become even more accessible with new formats. Our local presence will expand in 2026 with, for example, the somewhat different ABDL Regulars table. It took place for the first time on December 27, 2025, and was well received by you. In 2026, with our support, it will offer a BDLA space to meet offline in protected rooms more frequently. I wish you all a happy new year and look forward to a new year in which we continue to advance the ABDL scene together. Stay dry, see you in 2026.